Hey, back from this bus trip. I know you saw the preliminaries of me getting started, getting on the road. Well, let me just give you a quick rundown of how my trip went. And I'll try to give you some highlights between each one at every stop. We took a bus trip. There were approximately maybe 50 of us on this bus going across country. Let me give you an idea because I have to go back and read it. I really wasn't going to read it because I thought I could remember it all, but I kind of don't know when I'm going or coming. We left on a Saturday morning and we left to go to Knoxville, Tennessee. That was our first stop. En route, we stopped at a steakhouse and we made lots, and I mean lots of bathroom stops. So there were a lot of seniors on the trip, and seniors 2 hours, 2.5 hours, they got to go to the restroom, which should stretch your legs. So we made several stops. So left here, 8:30 somewhere ish, and we headed towards. We went stopped at the steakhouse for dinner or somewhere, and we ended up at about 8 p.m. So we about 12 hours. We ended up right outside of what did I say? Outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. Again, even though I'm reading, it seemed like I can't read. Well, Oak Ridge, Tennessee was our first stop. We stayed at the Comfort Inn overnight, had a quick breakfast in the morning, and guess what? We were back on the road again by about 8:30. We departed towards Nashville, Tennessee. I was excited about Nashville. Never been to Nashville, and I heard a lot about it. It's going to be nice. So we arrived at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. Well, I don't know if you know what Madame Tussauds Wax Museum is in Nashville. I didn't know where it was. I probably should have researched it. I thought it was going to be in downtown Nashville, but it wasn't. It was in a big mall, and there we were. I was pissed off. I thought that I would go and walk around the city while the people went to the wax museum. Well, I didn't do that. Instead, I went to the mall while the people went to the wax museum. And I did find a place where they were giving samples of moonshine and different flavors and different varieties. So me and my peeps, we went there and had everything that was in there and bought some moonshine. So we made the best of a somewhat tentative situation of not being able to see Nashville. After we left Nashville, we were supposed to go to Memphis, Tennessee, for dinner at this restaurant, but we were told that we could not. They could not accommodate the large party that we had. So guess what? We went to No, we didn't. We went to, we went to some restaurant. I want to say it was like a Denny's, but not really one of them. But anyhow, it was just terrible. It was terrible. The food was terrible. The service was terrible. They couldn't accommodate them. The food was cold. And why can I not remember the name of the restaurant? Anyhow, we left there. The restaurant was in Little Rock, Arkansas. So never made it to Memphis that time. We went straight to Little Rock, Arkansas and ate at this disgusting, terrible restaurant. And part of it is it was a small restaurant. And it didn't have enough people in time. But the food was just terrible. After we left there, we moved on out. We stayed at the Comfort Inn again in Little Rock. Our next stop, I didn't know after a while whether I was coming or going. Next stop, we departed in the morning from Little Rock. We headed to Oklahoma City. We were there to see the monument from Oklahoma, from where we were in Little Rock to Oklahoma. We stop and we pee every 2.5 lunch and stuff. It took us, we got to Oklahoma City National Memorial, about 4 o'clock. Now we were on the road, and a lot of people were really looking forward to this memorial. They said it was going to be, really great. I didn't care. I've been to Oklahoma before, but unfortunately, because we were behind and whatever, there are a lot of people we didn't go to the memorial. We stood outside. You had a half an hour. There were a lot of people that were pedoed because they really wanted to spend time to go in and look at the memorial. I didn't really care one way or another, but I felt that for people who wanted to see, it was on the itinerary, they should have saw. We arrived after Oklahoma. I guess everybody wanted to go to Pickles Steakhouse. Well, when you're going with a group and you get meals included, a lot of times you don't get the best of meals. Well, we had a buffet. It was a decent buffet. It was nice. It was cute. It was everything, but it wasn't all of that. For a steakhouse, I didn't have any steak. That night, we stayed in Oklahoma City, right outside of Oklahoma at the Holiday Inn. Guess what? Next morning, we were up and ready again, continental breakfast, and we were on the road again by 9 o'clock. This time, we were heading towards New Mexico. Everybody wanted to go to New Mexico. New Mexico, here we come. So we rode again. We stopped about 4 o'clock for dinner at some on Route 6. Get your kicks on Route 66. So we got to go on Route 66, and, we did our thing there. We finally arrived in Albuquerque, which was our stop, at about 9:30 p.m. There was traffic, there were accidents, but we got there at about 9. Now, we had a good time. We stayed in Albuquerque for a couple of days. Took something called a Sandy Peak Tramway. Went up about 10,000 feet to up a tree into the mountain. The pictures are breathtaking. It was lovely. It was wonderful. I mean, we really spent the day. We went to Old Town, Albuquerque, went down to the museum. My sister has a friend that lives in Albuquerque. She had met at one of her previous jobs. And she was nice enough to meet us in Albuquerque, downtown and Old Town. And she took us around. She treated us to lunch. And so she made our day really, really special. We had a, great time. In Albuquerque. We ate that night at something called Country Line, some kind of restaurant up there, which was nice. It was decent. Next day we were up and going. We stayed in Albuquerque again, but we went to the Pueblo up. It's called Skyline Culture Center, and we went up to a Pueblo where some of the people live. Oh, I forgot to mention, my sister's friend is from the Navajo tribe. So she was able to describe the artifacts and different things in the city and what Pueblo made this. We just got a wealth of information. So when we went up to the actual Pueblo, which, if you know what's a Pueblo, you went up in the hills. Wow, the cliff with it up high. Up, and you were able to look back down in the valley, and it was very, very rough terrain. If you had ambulatory issues, it was not for you. But I knew it was going to be a lot of that. So I had on my sneakers and I was ready to go. And a lot of us just enjoyed the house and looking at the history and the colonization of the Indians by the Spaniards and the taking over to become this and that. So it was really awe-inspiring, beautiful trip. Then later we went to see a museum downtown, which had a lot of the Indian artifacts and stuff, and it told about the different tribes in the area. We even got to go to a casino on Route 66 on our way back. The casino, East Coast casino, this little tiny casino, but it was a casino nevertheless. Small restaurants. Tasty food, though. Good prices. I mean, I can't complain about the prices. I actually ordered what did I order? I actually ordered a ham sandwich. An actual ham sandwich with which was delicious. It came with chips. It was a full-size torpedo ham. It was like $6. So it was really a good price. It was really good because I lost my money on Route 66. I didn't do well at the casino. I did, but I gave it back. I shouldn't say I didn't do well. For dinner, what did we do? I said we went to the memorial, and we went to, that night, we actually went out and had a great dinner. We ate dinner at the Crown Plaza. Kind of got a little gitsy up. I didn't really get gitsy up, but everybody got gitsy up and dressed up. We had karaoke. They had a band playing the piano, and they had a wonderful dinner. Dinner was a variety of, well, why do I remember this dinner? Because it was really upscale. We had choices, steak, chicken. They had corn on the cob. They had salad. They had mashed potatoes. Desserts, you had different assortment of different kind of cheesecake. So it was really, really nice. And again, it was somebody's birthday, so they celebrated and sang happy birthday. And they did line dances, electric slide, and some of the other dances. The next morning we got up, we headed towards Santa Fe. Now, that was exciting. I looked forward to Santa Fe. And we had a tour guide that took us up and kind of described some of the artsy kind of things in museums, some of the history of Santa Fe. Again, Santa Fe in altitude is higher than than Albuquerque. So a lot of people started really feeling some of the altitude things, sickness, and feeling just a little oozy. But the view was gorgeous downtown. We got to go. They went to a church, and something about it, some kind of stairway that held up as it was lost on me. Let me see if I can get you the name of this daggone church. I don't know what the name of the church was. It's our first stop. I would probably tell you that it was. Oh, good. We went to the steakhouse. We went to the state capitol, but some type of church around there. That the staircase is supposed to be held by, inspired by angels or something. I don't know. Dinner was at an Italian restaurant. Now we left Albuquerque. Not Albuquerque. We left Santa Fe early because a lot of people now were starting to feel a little bit ill. They needed to go to Walmart. They needed Tylenol. They needed medicine. They were coughing. They were snooting. It started going downhill around this time. So we did not stay in Santa Fe as long as we should have. After Santa Fe, we started heading backwards. We started heading back again, heading towards home, as I say. Because by this time, the way people were feeling, they wanted to head for home. And we first stopped was Amaretto, Texas. We went to the Quarter Horse Museum, and I liked it. But we didn't stay a long time because, again, people were starting to feel ill. From the Quarter Horse Museum in Amaretto, Texas, we went straight on to Oklahoma City to a hotel there. We got to that hotel at 10:30 at night. So we did a lot of riding. Next morning we got up, we headed to Arkansas, and we went to the Fort Smith National Historical Site, which my sister was so excited. She took pictures. Now, we got there on a Sunday. Guess what? It was closed. We in the Bible Belt. We couldn't go see it. And so we had to walk around, find some places to eat. I found a great beer bar kind of thing, beer pub, and they had some great food, which turned out very nice. And it was kept us cool because the temperature that day was 113 degrees. That night we ate at the Golden Corral. Again, by this time, everybody's really getting kind of ill. And we kind of just went from hotel. We didn't really see much, except for we went to downtown Memphis. And we went to Beale Street. Now, I was excited about that. Heard a lot about it. Kind of funky, kind of disappointed, but we got to Beale Street. We didn't stay there that long because it was a long day. I mean, from Beale Street in Tennessee, we had to go from Memphis all the way across town, from there all the way to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. No, which we didn't arrive at our hotel. Remember, we stopped every 2 hours to about 10:30. So, and after we left Oak Ridge, we headed home. We kind of headed back. So it was about 11 days. A lot of fun. Saw a lot of things, mesas, mountains, Blue Ridge, the smoky with the smoke. I mean, the scenery was awesome. But what kept me going, and I got to say, this is me. Other people might have. I had this right here. This right here. I'm going to have to let you look at it. I took this twice a day. This is 1500 CBD. No THC in it. It's just regular CBD. I took this every day. I also have my CBD gummies. Now, I'm not going to say these kept me going, kept me excited, kept me motivated. When other people were getting ill, I didn't seem to get ill. I was okay, and it kept me going. And, I took the rest, plenty of water, because 115 degrees, you're going to need plenty of water. But I always say, if you get an opportunity to go cross country, and especially on a bus trip where you can see a lot, you might actually not do a lot, but if you can see a lot, check it out. A lot of great people, met some new friends, learn new things because you learn stories, watch movies, you laugh, you cried. It's a good camaraderie. So again, that was my day. I loved it, and it was sensational. What can I say?